Okay, I'm gonna finish this video. I don't know what I was talking about before. I think I was talking about, something. That little thing that you can make your own oil extracts with in regards to flowers and whatever and whatever. Okay, and I think I was talking about those rubs. Whatever. But I'm gonna finish this video because I am so freaking disgusted. Like, I am completely at the end of my rope. I have made the decision. I have made the decision. I don't know how long it's gonna take for me to get the hell out of this house, but I'm gonna start with Andre, showing him something. What can I show him? Andre, should we sell this or should we keep this? Because if we keep it, Nana's packing it up in a box. Back in the day when Uncle John was around, and, you know, we decided to move, whether it was from Victoria to the mainland, or from house to house, or whatever, because he lived with me in Victoria in two separate houses. One was a house, and one was a townhouse. And then I decided I needed to come over here and try and start a business, do whatever with my sewing, yeah. And, he, you know, I told him, you know, I'm going, and I can't stay here in Victoria. There's nothing here. It was my second time I left Victoria. And I told him, you can go back home to your wife. Because I can't stay in Victoria. There's just couldn't. Or you can come, whichever. It's your choice, John. You decide what you want to do. So he chose to come. Okay. That's how Joan got over here, because she ended up moving over here. Because he didn't want her to go into long-term care. And she got, I don't know, quite a few years with us free. She didn't go in long-term care. Not until the last year of her life. And she had like 3 years and a bit with us being free. So, whatever. And then, you know, we moved over here, and we moved. And then we ended up here. But through all of that, you know, when it came time to move, I'm like, John, no, okay. And I'd give myself 1 year to pack up. At least. I mean, obviously, the larger the family got, the longer the, you know, right? So, you know, will I be out of here in a year from now? I don't know, people. I don't know. But I just know that, you know, like, I'm done. I'm done with these home wreckers. Okay? I want to put the word home wrecker in this title. Because this is the crap. And I know there's F-tards that get off on this shit because it's just written into their DNA. Where whatever dysfunction I'm having to deal with, where it frustrates me, makes me feel insecure, all those negative feelings, right? Puts me on an emotional whatever, makes it so I can't go downstairs without feeling nervous, scared, intimidated, frightened, a whole lot of, right? Annoyed, uncomfortable, right? Ready to, you know, on guard, because, right? I don't know how, right? All negative feelings, okay? Like, I'm sick of it, because yesterday, I don't want to drag this out. I gotta stay positive, people, okay? And for the F-tards, I don't give a crap. Because as far as I'm concerned, if you get off on this shit, you're mentally dysfunctional. Right? You may think you're an adult. You may think because you can talk and open your mouth and sound whatever, that you can form a sentence and carry on. But at the end of the day, so could Sierra. I'm just saying. All right. I'm sleeping. The kid, we're all sleeping. It was during, because Amari's sleeping now, but he got up at 4. So he's sleeping right now. Andre's sleeping. If I was to lay down at 8, let's say, or 9, just thinking, oh, I'm going to lay there for an hour, because I get up at 1 or 2 in the morning, and by 8 or 9, I've already changed Amari and dealt with him, and he 50% of the time he still might be awake. The other 50% of the time, by the time he's been changed and he's had his bottle and he's played for a couple of 2, 3, 4 hours, he's gonna fall asleep. So he's sleeping right now because he's not making no noise. And I'm like, okay, I've been up since 1, 2. It's now 9. I think I'm just gonna lay down for an hour, right? And then get myself up, and I'm really struggling hard with these eyes. Whatever this doctor did this last time around, within a month, I can almost say that he injured me somehow, some way, whether it was his machines, too many in a row, or whether it's this medicine, it's something has injured me, and I've been pushing past it, okay? And I'm trying to stay positive. I'm okay. So anyway, I go and I lay down yesterday around this time, 8:39, thinking, well, I'll get up in an hour and a bit, right? Blah blah blah. Well, anyway, there was a knock on the door. I'm like, oh. So I get up. It was like 11:30, quarter to 12 or something like that. Everybody's still sleeping. So I get to the door, and I open the door, and there's this guy there saying, well, I'm here to refill the mouse traps. Because we have these little mouse traps. Because remember, we are trying to deal with this rodent problem. Which, at this point, I don't think I have it upstairs. But I've been informed that there's still kind of problematic downstairs. Okay, and that's why I'm paying. All right. And okay. Well, at this point, I didn't know you were coming. So it's not like I'm going to start rushing around, bumbling to pull these things out where I have them. Plus, I haven't had any indication of any mice up here. So, but before, we deal with that, what about what's chewing up on my ceiling every now and then? We had it, right? My son put something up there, like those sticky things. We moved and the thing, it disappeared. It went away for like a month and a bit, or whatever it was. And then it started chewing over there. Hit the ceiling, whatever. Did that for a couple, 2, 3, 4 days. And then everything stopped. I didn't hear anything again. And this is in the ceiling, okay? In my attic, which is more than likely a roof rat, okay? Maybe a Norway, but I don't know about that. Norway rat, right? Those are those black ones about the size of a fist. And they're nasty. I don't, a roof rat, like I said, they tend to be more like outside. But they also run the roof on the porch and get up onto the roof of the house and probably climb in through a pipe or maybe through the soffits, which those guys wouldn't deal anything with that. I asked them when they, if I'm going to pay you, are you going to, secure the soffits? Or are you going to put a screen over? Oh, no, we don't do that. Blah, blah, blah. Just stuff around the yard, whatever. Okay, so whatever. And then it disappeared again for, I don't know, a couple, 2, 3, 4 weeks or whatever it was. And then I heard it over there in the ceiling. And so I've been telling my son about this now for the last little while, off and on, right? Just, like, I need to talk to them. Give me the phone number so I can phone. I had it, but I've misplaced it. Anyway, and I'm like, okay, well, you need to put rat traps up there. He's thinking the snap kind. And I'm like, no, that's not what I want. Ain't nobody gonna go up and down, up and down. I've already asked my son to do that. And he just ignores it. For as long as he's been complaining about rodents, he has yet to poke his nose up in the freaking attic and put anything up there for me. And that's well over a year now. So what would make you think that he'd go up there and... He's not. I just want the bait box. Oh, no, we can't put the bait box up there because there's cement on the bottom of the box or something dumb like that. I don't know what the hell he was saying. And then who comes around the corner of the house? Marina. And she's, yeah. So the guy looks, right? Oh, are you the owner? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know I had to come to the front door. And I'm like, oh, and she goes, oh, yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, you're here. Like, before he goes, Marina, like, tell me what's going on. Because Andre just told me not even 4 days ago that there, I suppose, are mice down there. I thought that problem's been dealt with. I thought the only problem was up in my attic that nobody wants to fucking help me with. If you notice that, nobody wants to help me with it. Okay. Oh man, as soon as I said Marina, what the hell is going on? She just went off on me. And this is, she's been snapping at me. A couple of 2, 3, maybe we'll say 3 months ago. I wouldn't say I was putting out the olive branch, but, I put down my guard, and I need to get downstairs, people, and do shit down there in fucking peace. So why would I want to argue over anything as if I have the energy for it? All right. But then one day I went down and I was talking to Marcane, and then I said something to her, and she just put me into check right then and there. Don't talk to me. Well, no, actually, maybe it was a different day or something. I don't know if Marcane was there or not. I don't think Marcane was there. Don't talk to me. That's it. And I've talked about this in the video. I don't know how many videos back, okay? If you've got something to say. Oh, no, she phoned me on the phone. That's what it was. Right? Because I talked to her on the phone, right? Like, whatever was going on with whatever. And then she phoned back, said, Andre, let me speak to you. Okay? And then Judy, and and don't you talk to me. If you want to talk to me, you have to go through Andre, or you have to go through Marcane. Now, how mature is that? First thing. Okay? All right. Whatever. She in my ear, and I'm like, oh fuck, quick, okay. And I don't know. So anyway, she's outside. Maybe she fucking did that again after that, because it's just like there's something seriously wrong with this girl. Like, I can't, and I'm gonna get to it, people, okay? Because that is the way fucking Julian Johnson talked to me. That was the way freaking Austin Luck talked to me. The guy that was choking Sierra. Right, you know what I'm saying? The one that killed Shimei, right? That's how they talk to me, just like this bitch downstairs talks to me. And I told you I'm not talking to you no more, blah, 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 come on. And she's calling this guy to fucking go with her. She runs off. And he's standing there looking like this. Oh, geez, I'm sorry. I said, you got nothing to be sorry about. Like, fuck. We were in mid-conversation about talking about what's going up in my ceiling. And then she comes back because he didn't follow her. She comes back. And he runs off. And I never got no answers. None. Right. So I come in. Oh, I'm livid. I'm done. I'm done. I'm thinking about making, I know it doesn't seem like much, people. Okay, and for those ones that are laughing their ass off, Tamika Johnson, you know what? You're going to laugh yourself off the cliff one day. Because as far as you think that your life is quote-unquote perfect, there's good and bad in life, and there's going to come a time it's all going to come right back at you with your karma. Bad karma at that. Okay, so I come inside. Oh no, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Because I gave my son some money. I told him, you know, test this out. You save for a house for the kids and me. Because, you know, right? If I'm still alive. If I'm still alive, people. You know. Just a little bit. It wasn't very much. I paid the minimum on my credit cards, so I had a little extra money. Because I wasn't paying 4 and 5 and 3 and another 4, right? And I'm almost done with Mrs. Gill, so I just wanted to know what it felt like to be able to say, here, you know, put this away, so that, you know, the kids always have a little roof over their head, and it, you know, it would be nice if I can be there with them. Basically, you know, I have to beg here, I have to beg. I have to pay my fucking way. Or whatever. I don't know. I got back 2 pieces of paper. Begs, you know, when you deposit money or you take out money you get from the receipt. Yeah, I got, that's the money I gave him. Whatever. There's your fucking house. Stick it in your ear. Like I said, it wasn't very much, so the point is, you know, I told him I have a hard time trusting you because of what you've done to me for the last couple of, well, not more than a couple of years now. We're going on to 4 years now, 3 years for sure. With this robbing and the destroying of my belongings and the disrespect and the rudeness, and this girl's just getting braver and more brazen and more just, I don't know. Julian fucking Johnson out there, deja vu, Austin Luck beaking off at the mouth, Sierra's boyfriend, who is the father of Andre, if he talked to me like that, Marcane wouldn't like it. Julian, if he talked to me like that, because they both did it, Marcane wouldn't like it. But for whatever reason, he seems to think it's okay for Marina to talk to me like that. And has the right to destroy my shit. Well, at least, well, Austin stole from me. I know that for a fact, and he did that with Sierra. Okay, but it wasn't a lot. He stole some salmon jars and a few other little things. Okay, Julian, as far as I know, never stole anything. But he was controlling, and he was a mouthpiece, and he was abusive, and he ended up killing my daughter. And he made threats on to blow up my house, and he'd be beaking off at me and all this stupid shit, okay, blah, blah, blah. Joan was the one that used to sneak around and like to get into things and open up things and steal little things, you know, take out and then, you know, put the can back as she runs off with something else and stupid shit that, right, you know, so you can say, you know, this girl downstairs is kind of like Joan too, because that's what she does. She plots and schemes, she opens up my shit, she takes out what she wants, she puts my shit back, she wraps it fucking back up downstairs in the basement to make it look, and then I come, I grab the box, and the shit's shaking around in there, and there's a bloody box of Borax, which should be in the box that I just, it's all shaking, and now it's in my food storage, like it's fucked up shit, right? That's Joan Duncan. Like my son brought home a girl, but that's between an Austin Luck, a Julian fucking Johnson, and a Joan Duncan. And she, I told you I'm not talking to you no more. Come on. And this guy, he goes running off. I come inside. I'm like, I'm fucking done. Who cares? Who cares if your joints are fucking popping if you're watching my stupid video, Marcane? Who fucking cares? You got everything in the world all lumped up into one little ball of nothing. Who wants to call herself a quote-unquote woman? Yeah, okay, I'm 63. I'm the woman in the house. She hasn't even popped out one yet, okay? She pays the least amount of rent. She pays less than a welfare person would pay if a welfare person came in with their welfare freaking check. Oh, I don't pay rent to you, Mom. I pay rent to Mrs. Gill. Yeah, whatever. Convince yourself of whatever you want. Whatever you want. What you brought home was a home wrecker. That's what he brought home, people. And I called him on it yesterday because I came in. Of course, because, you know, I have to sometimes just obviously stay focused. I was supposed to get that meat and I canceled the order. Andre's really disappointed. But I said, I ain't dealing with this shit. She beacon off at me and got me all riled up as if I got meat. You know, I'm going to go down in there and muck in Shemai's room as if I can go into Shemai's room and we're going to clear out that little freezer and put some nice home-ground hamburger meat in there with some nice whole chickens so that Andre and I can have that for ourselves, right? No, I said to hell with that. I canceled the appointment. I mean, I canceled the order. And he was so disappointed, and so was I. But I can't be dealing with that girl, especially when things flare up like that. Okay? The dude was standing out of my fucking doorstep talking to me about something that I want to get dealt with, but nobody wants to help me with that. Let me remind you of that. Okay? It's not like I haven't asked my son to poke his nose up right into the attic and at least look around and tell me what the hell is going on up there. No, you never got no time because he's always so busy. Yeah, right. So anyway, I'm yappity yap in the house. Whatever. Calling her a home wrecker. She's a home wrecker. She's wrecked my home. She's definitely wrecked my home. As I'm thinking about, I can't get it right now because it would be too complicated. And I told this to Andre, I'm being pushed out of my house. Okay? I'm expected to sell things or at least throw them out. Because it's all junk, right? Just get rid of them so that somebody else can benefit from them. Beautiful glass, clear glass, cake holder. So, you have your base, you have your stem, it's all glass, and then you have a glass dome that goes over it, and it's thick. I'll show it to you one day. And I'm like, okay, Judy, why I think about it, other than I'd like to keep it in the family. Tisha wouldn't take it because she doesn't have the room, quote unquote, per se, right? And I told Andre yesterday, as I was, blah, 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 like the girl is so fucking ungrateful that, for as stupid as I was to be thinking to have him be the middleman and take it downstairs and show her first and then ask her if she wanted to have it for her new place, wherever that new place might be. But you see, she doesn't want me there, people. My son is willing to take the money from me for the new place, but she doesn't want me there. But in my mind, I'm trying to keep this beautiful cake thing in the family where Andre can enjoy it. I can have the satisfaction of knowing that I had a family on my deathbed, right? It's going to be well looked after and appreciated because right? And the reason I would do that is because she hates flies. She hates flies. She locks everything up. Keeps the door closed. Close the door. Don't want flies in the house, you know. So I'm like, okay, well, this might be handy since you hate flies. You know, it's nice and sturdy and strong, and it will last a lifetime if you look after it. It's a heirloom. It's one of those heirloom things, right? And if Andre came back and said, oh, well, she said she likes it and she'd want to keep it, but she has no room, I had a backup on that. Well, no problem. We'll just pack it in a box, and we'll put the box in Tisha's room as we go from thing to decide what we're keeping and what we're not keeping. Same thing with my pasta machines I have up there, people. I have 2 fully functioning pasta machines to make your own homemade pasta. They may both of them be new. I'm pretty sure one is new in the box. Plus, I have a manual one, which isn't as fancy, but, okay, why do I, right? I would still want to make our own homemade pasta. Hopefully, I'll be able to do that at some point in the future. Maybe. So, but I'm willing to give up one anyway, right? But before I sell it, I was going to have Andre take it down, show Marcaine, show her, let them have the choice to have it for themselves while they're down there, being that they're health gurus and they like to eat healthy. Well, here, make your own pasta. Right, here's a machine. I got books too. Oh, but you can Google, but whatever. I don't know how much those machines are. Probably pretty expensive. And if she didn't want it, then fine, we'll sell it. But I was going to give her the option. Why? Why am I thinking about somebody that has zero respect for me, wants to blame me for her problems so that she can justify her bad behavior and continue to do what she does? Because clearly she hasn't stopped. And of course, now that this has happened, I'm wondering what else is being thrown out. I'm wondering what else is being pillaged behind my son's back, being that my son seems to think that it's not happening because he's not witnessing it for himself, even though he's gone for 10 hours a day. Sometimes he'll go camping by himself and will be gone for a couple of days. You can do a lot by yourself for a couple of days when nobody comes downstairs to bother you. That's why when I go down there and I move a box, I either find it freaking completely empty with the label of what was on the outside, but the box is just thrown off to the side. Or I find a box and it's rattling inside with tape that has been pulled off and then retaped up to make it look like that's how I fucking packed it. No. Wait until you see how I pack my shit, people. I pack it tight. I have very good organization skills. I'm not a fucking... boo-boo scatterbrain that does stupid shit because there's something missing up there. You know, when people pack, they just throw everything in a box and everything's all mixed up and, you know, but if I come, I take everything out, I make it so it's nice and tight, and you can add in a whole bunch more after it's all been put in there properly. I'm just saying. And I said that to Andre, like, why? Why am I thinking to, because, you know, I told him, like, before this happened with the freaking guy at the door, I want you to take down this cake pan, this cake cover thing. You know, you can put muffins in it, because whatever, she doesn't like flies, and I don't want to sell it, people. I don't. I want to keep it in the family, but I have no family. The only family that I have really is Andre and Amari and Tisha part-time, because you never know when she's going to spring to action, because I didn't give her money to buy a house for herself. Not that she can house me and help me with the kids. She just wants money from me as a gift to give it to her just because she said give it to me. So if I say no, then it becomes a fight, and then it becomes part-time because we won't talk for a while. So I guess it's not like, right? It's not like a family. It's not the family I used to have. Where this one downstairs is a home wrecker. She's wrecked my home. This is not no home. Anytime I try and do something positive or feel good or whatever or get ahead, it either gets scattered around, destroyed, ruined, disappears. You know, I called my son on it because when after I calmed down, I phoned him. I said, "Look, you know, yeah, she hollering, screaming, you know, blah blah blah." And he came anyway. He came upstairs, and it's always a pissing contest with him, right? Doesn't want to take no fucking responsibility for anything. I asked him to give me back my money. He said no. I said, exactly. That'll be the last time you get a fucking anything out of me. Last freaking time. I don't care. Like, I'm so angry, I want to take him off my life insurance policy. I do. I want to take Atisha off my life insurance policy and put it in freaking trust for Andre. But I'd have to sign somebody as a trustee until the age of 19. Yeah, okay. Who can I trust? Tell me. So, okay. He ran away. I told him, you brought home a home wrecker. He accused me of being the home wrecker. Yeah, right. That's why you're still under my roof. Whatever. So we just had our tit-tat, tit-tat. And Andre just wanted to walk away because he was getting angry with it. Right? Not with me, but with Marcane. Yeah. So, I have made the decision. It is probably just as well that it has happened because I was only fooling myself. I was trying not to fool myself. I pleaded with my son 3 nights ago with Andre when I took that cord away to work with me, not against me. I don't want to be in that co-parenting situation where the kid is in the middle between two parents that don't like each other and are constantly pitting the child against the other parent. And I don't pit Andre against Marcane outside of to call Marcane on his bullshit and his piss poor attitude and his bully ways. I called him a gorilla pimp right to his freaking face. I said, you're nothing but a freaking gorilla pimp. You're not a son. Too many times I've had to say that to him. And for what? He's protecting Marina's feelings? Yeah, okay. You're going to have a rude awakening one day. Just like Tamika Johnson. You go live in your little fucking la-la land. And then let reality hit you in the face one day. And it'll all come crumbling down. And for the way you guys carry on, chances are you probably won't even be strong enough to handle the storm. At least I've handled the storm all these years, and I've been in many, many, many storms, and this is just another storm. And I'm not afraid of storms, people. I'm not. And I don't care if that bitch downstairs is listening. She can fuck herself. This is it. I'm done. I'm not gonna waste my time thinking about doing nothing. If I make a rub for what I was going to do for Marcane, well, I'll do for myself and I'll do for Amari. And if there's a leftover jar, Andre can give it to Marcane, whether he uses it or not. I don't give a shit. But I'm not making it for him. That's the difference between today and 2 days ago. I wanted to make him one 2 days ago. My heart was in it. I don't have a heart anymore. Okay? Because the way that girl talked to me outside is exactly what the fuck Julian did. He'd come barreling around the corner like she did, and look what he did. Look what he did. Threatening to burn down my house, throw rocks and break out all my freaking windows. Told Shimei and me to have everybody go outside so he could shoot us right there on the freaking grass. being up in my face, bitch, you the problem, bitch. Yeah, and what did he do? But it came back to him. He's not on this planet anymore. Still no justice for Shimei, though, because he didn't kill Shimei by herself. He had help. So for Tamika's sidekick watching this video, when you go to bed at night, you just remember that. Julian didn't kill Shimei by herself. He had help. And there was only one person that was interested in Amari. The one that still stalks me after all these freaking years. There was motive, and it was premeditated murder, and they got away with it. But while Julian was alive, well, that's what was out my front freaking door. So why the hell would I go live with them, blind or not? Why would I want my grandkids to live with them? Now, if I die, I don't have much of a choice. It's just going to iron itself out. And if Andre doesn't like living with them, well, he can always walk out the freaking door. I've already told him that. Honestly, I don't think they're going to be able to look after Amari by themselves. They would need Andre, for as much as they don't appreciate him when it comes to that. Because they don't know what it requires with the daily grind to be there for Amari and never get mad at Amari because of his situation. It's not his fault. He didn't ask to be born that way. But we don't use him as a means to manipulate somebody else to do something else or to think something else because we can't do it for ourselves, because we don't want to, because it's too much responsibility. And we'd rather just control the person that actually makes a difference versus being a part of the solution. Yeah. Okay. So, there you go. I already said, Andre, you know that gumball machine? I have a gumball machine. I said, I think we should sell it. He wants to keep it. Oh, it's antique now. I said, well, yeah, but I think you can buy those on Amazon for $25. We can sell ours for 20. But, no, and I'm like, yeah, but Andre, you can't, it's like... So I went to sleep thinking about a gumball machine. And Andre's feelings. And what he might like. And I'm like, okay. I got up this morning and I'm like, oh, that's it. Fuck. I'll pack a box when it's packed. I'll take it downstairs, I'll put it in Tisha's room, and I'll lock the fucking door, and you bust that lock, I'm gonna call the fucking cops on you. I'll start clearing out what I want to sell in Tisha's room, and as I'm clearing out and putting boxes in there, the stuff that I want to take with me, don't you fucking open it up, take out what you want, and then wrap it back, and trust me, I'll be taping it up real damn good. And I'm gonna put a lock on the door. You have no right to touch my shit, I'm done. You hot fucking home wrecker. So I'm like, okay, well, because I told him when we move, he'll get his own room for sure. And it's open, fresh. Nothing inside, not a stitch of nothing, not even one little wood block. So what do you want to keep? You really want that freaking gumball machine? Because if you want it, you can put it in your room. Yeah, no, I want it. I said, well, are you willing to have it in your room? Is that the first thing that you're going to have in your room? All right? Yeah. Okay, then. Well, there's box. Get me some boxes. And that's the first thing I'm going to pack. And I'm going to pack it for him. So that he can have something before it was taken away from him. Before he was told that it had no value. That it wasn't important. It wasn't sentimental. Like this. Oh, where did this come from? Well, I don't know. I used to have daughters. Yeah. And this has been around for a long time. Yeah. Maybe we'd like to keep this, right? You know what I'm saying? We're entitled to be able to keep things like this. It reminds me of my kids when they were small and they were human, not when they turned into aliens or got murdered. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. I don't have many of them, but I have a couple of them. No, I shouldn't have to hide them, right? Right? I told Andre, we're going to plant flowers next year, but you have to help me. You have to help me, because it's hard. And we're going to do it in memory of your mother first. Because Sierra was good at it, right? Before I leave this house. Or are they going to say, oh, you shouldn't be planting flowers? What are you, turning into a girl? Huh. I can hear them now, downstairs. Why are you out there planting flowers? You should be doing something else. So I'm going to nurture that in him. In terms of trying, because we feel like crap. They make us feel like fucking crap. Andre's, yesterday, Marquaine's been like getting him to do quite a few math questions, reading something, and then writing 3 sentences. Marina wants him to write 5, demanding that he writes 5 now, when he's struggling already with 3. Marcaine can see that he's struggling with the 3. He says, no, we'll just leave it at 3 for a while. Wants it every day, 5 days in a row, where he sits here and he spends like 5 hours doing it during the day, so he can't play computer, so he's getting mad, and he's getting headaches from it, because it's a lot, right? Because the one time when Marcaine took the cord, because Andre was getting cheeky with me, Marcaine ended up taking power of it. He took control of being the authoritarian figure, but he didn't reprimand Andre for talking back at me, for not doing his laundry, for not helping with dishes. He didn't say, I'm taking the cord away because you're being rude to, to your nana. He didn't really care about that. He just said, well, that's not what the issue is the issue not doing the schoolwork and handing it in on a daily, regular basis before I get home from work, or at least when I get home from work, right? That's why he took the cord away for 4 days. So, with that, they keep giving him this work. He's spending a half a day doing it because he's trying to please them. Not that they're satisfied with that or happy or grateful or appreciate that, even though I've told Marcaine that he tries really hard, but they're they want Andre to be mad at me too, though, right? They know if he gets mad, frustrated, whatever, gets headaches, can't do what he wants to do, it's just a matter of time before he busts a nut on me and start to because he can't talk to Marcaine the way he talks to me. So I'm like that safe sounding board. My son is very freaking cagey here, and because he took the cord away once, Andre would go hand in the paper, something happened, and he came up and he said, Marcaine said that if I don't do this today and hand it in today, he's going to come up and take the cord away. And I'm like, oh, okay, I can see what's going on here. So now he's in control of the computer when it's convenient for him, for when he wants something. But when I want something, when it relates to Andre with, behavior modification, with, respecting adults, respecting your elderly, cleaning up after you keep whatever. No, Marcaine is not on my side. No, if anything, he drops, well, you this and you that. So, Andre told me yesterday, he wants me to do all this. I thought I had 1 day off. He told me I had 1 day off. And then he finds out that he didn't. And all this shit happened with Marina. And he just said, fuck it, I'm done. If Marcaine wants to come up and take a cord, let him. I don't care. And I said, well, because I said, well, you know what's going on here, right, Andre? Because I talked to Andre, right? I said, he's taken over, being an authoritarian, but it's not helping you with you and me working on what we need to work on. So, so that, I don't lose him, right? And I just told him, we can't allow, whether it's my displaced anger, wherever it comes from, which is from my son and his wife. That's my biggest issue, right? That when it comes to displaced anger, because it creates so much chaos and havoc and extra work, because they're always scattering shit and they don't help, and blah blah blah, and and I can see what they're doing with the schoolwork, to which I'm in agreement with, but they're being excessive with it because they're forgetting about Andre's special needs, and they're expecting results too fast as they justify whatever it is that they think they're doing because they can. And Andre was going to just shut down, and I told him, I said, just explain to him what was going on. And now that he's got that power, he thinks he has it. But at the end of the day, I have an extra computer cord up here if I want to give it to you, Andre. So he can run off the cord if he wants. We just won't let him in next time when he comes for the second cord. If you want to play games, because that's what it boils down to, playing games, because he's override me now, right? And he's only taking the cord for one specific reason, not for else, because he's too busy blaming me so that he can justify the next time he raids my shit with or without his wife. Because if he ain't raiding it, she's raiding it behind his back while he's in denial. Yeah. Because she's a homewrecker. She's a Joan Duncan that likes to poke in people's shit and cause trouble, plot and scheme behind your back, right? Not maybe be so much, but Joan was a little snippy every now and then, but nothing like Julian Johnson and Austin Locke. Marina's all rolled into all three of them. Three all into one. Oh yeah. I told him, you made your bed, you go lie in it. I'm laying on the couch with Amari and Andre. We're in the living room, right? You know what I'm saying? Amari all cuddling up and everything. And you go, oh, look at you. And you made your bed and you lie in it. Yeah, well, at least I'm holding down the fucking fort so that you even have a fucking place to put your bed. And, I'm here with the daily damn grind. Yeah. So after that, he ran away. I locked the door, closed all the curtains. To hell with you. To hell with you. And I've just made the decision. Andre, should we keep this? Where are we going to put it in a new house? Where are we moving? Well, more than likely into a basement suite. 2-bedroom basement suite. Then we can at least keep the cats. Because I'm the only one thinking about those cats, besides Andre. Right? So I got to find a place where we can keep the cats. Mice or all, I don't care. As long as we can keep the cats. Right? You know what I'm saying? So it'll probably be a 2-bedroom basement suite or something like that. Or maybe it might be a small little rancher. I don't know. Right? Andre can look after me as I go blinder and blinder and blinder. And if they want to take Amari away, because Andre is being responsible and helping me with Amari, and they think that I can't look after Amari because of whatever, and Andre, whatever, well, I'm going to talk to Andre about it today. Then I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And when we get to that bridge, Andre, you and I, both of us together, will go to court to fight to get on Amari back. I don't care where my son is with that wonko human being that is a homewrecker. You think they're going to fight for Amari? Yeah, okay. Sure. Because you're sure in the hell not trying to fucking make it so that he has a safe place to live, because you're all too busy freaking causing strife all the time. Julian Johnson causing strife all the time. Austin Locke causing strife all the time. Marcane didn't like it, so what makes him think I like what his stupid wife does to me, causing strife all the time? I used to run out fucking Austin Locke out of this house all the time because of his bullshit crap. Same thing with Julian Johnson. Get the fuck out. I don't want you here. You don't live here. Get out of here. Right? Ran him out. Joan, it was different. I was respectful to Joan because I loved Uncle John and I wanted him to be happy, and I knew Joan's days were numbered. So we all, as a family, nurtured Joan to the best of our ability. Should I have had Joan come? Probably not. It would have been better for my family, but you don't know those things until after the fact. So no regrets, because it kept Uncle John happy, and I guess you could say there's an Auntie Joan still in the mix somewhere. That's more than my kids ever got when it came to an aunt. At least they had some aunt. This thing downstairs that wants to call herself a fucking aunt, she ain't no fucking aunt. Sorry, boo-boo aunt. She's a home wrecker, and she's wrecked this home, because now I'm looking for boxes to start packing up, asking Andre, do you want it? Well, what is it, Nana? Well, I don't know. I think it belonged to Auntie Shimei. Or maybe it belonged to your mom. It could have belonged to Tisha. It belonged to one of the girls. Or maybe all three girls. I don't know. But do you think we should keep it? Yeah, okay. Well, then we're going to put it in a box. We're going to pack it up. And when the box is full, we're going to take it downstairs. And we're going to put it in Tisha's room. And we're going to lock up the freaking room. And if we go down there and find the fucking lock broken with that out of the box, we know who took it. And if he says, no, I don't want it, I'll be like, well, I kind of want it, but I'm the one that has to make adult decisions here. So maybe it should be one of those things that we should sell simply because we're not allowed to take anything, or I'm sorry, we're not allowed to take everything with us, because that's not the kind of world that we live in now. Hell, if my son wants to go off and spend money in Canada to buy land so he can wake up one day and find out there's a whole bunch of fucking natives standing around saying, get the hell out. Not the Punjabis. They can live in their monster houses. They're okay because, you know, there's that supply and demand. You got to keep that underground economy going. But when the natives come knocking on your door because they want to take back the land from the white people, or whoever it is that they deem to be supremacists, I'm sure there's a whole lot of backroom deals going on in there in terms of what these natives decide they want to take in the millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. Well, don't say I didn't warn you, Marcane. So you better think twice where you're going to invest your money when it comes to buying a house. Yeah. But in the meantime, I just said to hell, I'm done. I'm done. I'm not going to fool myself. And I'm not going to mislead Andre. If he wants to live with them when I'm mostly packed and I'm ready to bolt, I still might find somebody else to share a house with me yet. That option is still on the table, right? Then, you know, so be it. But I doubt it. I highly doubt it. And that burns their goat downstairs. And that's why they try and hurt me even more. Yeah. With their stupidity. So I'm gonna start packing up a box. I'm gonna start with one box. Uncle John is with me. He's right beside me, helping me with this. Okay, because I don't care. I don't know how long it's gonna take to accomplish whatever it is that needs to be accomplished here. But after yesterday, it's a sickness. Julian Johnson was a sickness. Marcane would agree with that. Austin Luck was a sickness. Marcane would agree with that. Joan Duncan was a sickness. Marcane would agree with that. But he wouldn't agree with it if you called out the homewrecker and a gorilla pimp. So how about we leave it on that? Okay. I have a video that I need to convert over, but my Windows 7 hard drive is full, so I gotta transfer files. Oh, 88. Besides that point, this is, I'll work on that, and then I'm going to work on this video, which is what I'm currently doing in terms of the meat that I bought, which will be coming in tomorrow, and you know, yada yada, and then building on these health benefit rubs, right? Okay, so if you look at this, where is it? I just seen it. I just had it here. All right, let's just talk about the health rubs, okay? Do you see this? I bought this for Amari. I've actually had it for quite a long time, right? And do you see what's in it? Oh, I probably paid like 25 bucks for that. Alright, so what I'm looking for is magnesium to infuse into my health rubs, right? Also, as a different carrier fat, I suppose, you've got coconut oil, which is a carrier fat or oil, right? Then you've got the shea butter, and you've got also coca butter, which I'm pretty sure I have in my room, but it's been there for a couple of years. But it can last 1 to 2 years being used or whatever, and if you know, put it away and you don't open it and it's been sitting in a cool dark place, it can last up to 3 to 5 years, give or take, right? And so I thought, well, you know, and I'm thinking to myself, right? Well, Marcane's kind of hairy. He takes after the Chorneys in that way. He's got a hairy body. Hairy legs, hairy chest, just hairy. And that comes from my side of the family, right? So, you know, what's the best for a rub? You know, I'm not looking for a cream per se. I'm definitely not looking for a lotion. It's a cross between a cream and a balm, I would think, because a balm is a little thicker, right? Okay, so if you're hairy, I mean, like, obviously you want to use the cocoa butter or the shea butter, because as soon as it comes into contact with the body, it starts to melt, right? What kind residue it leaves behind? If it's greasy, like a coconut oil would probably stay greasy to 1 degree or another. For how long, I don't know. So I suppose it depends on the ratio between the coconut oil, the shea butter, the coconut oil, the cocoa butter, or the coconut oil with, or olive oil, or whatever oil you're going to use outside of these butters, right? Which are not actual butters, but they're just concentrated fats from plants. Okay, so coca powder, and I'm on Organic Matters, organic coca powder, because I Googled it on Amazon to see how much it would cost me, and currently for a 5-pound bag, I can get, I pay 70 bucks for it, right? If I do a 1 pound, right, it's what, $15.50. So if you go up a little, you save yourself 5 to 10 bucks, either or. I'm going to probably buy this one, because if I do a $150 shop, then I get free delivery. So it's worth my investment. Plus, this is, you make, and I have this, right, kicking around the house. Not maybe this particular brand, but I'm pretty sure that Smash and Grab Rhea, I think, ran off with a few of my mason jars that had this stuff in there, because I'm only finding like 1 or 2 in my room when I know I had more. Let's just put it that way, okay? Like, it just burns my goat. Right? So, you know, topping off, being that I'm missing some, it's not going to hurt me, and, you know, technically it's edible. Use it for baking and hot chocolate milk and or whatever, right? And because this is not so refined, because it's not refined per se, quote unquote, it's going to have a little bit of a bitter taste to it, but it has more nutrients. And one of the nutrients that it has is magnesium. It's right there. It has iron, phosphorus, magnesia, and then magnesium, and potassium. Okay? Anything else there? And then the fiber, obviously, okay. So, now I suppose I can go out and buy myself a what is that called? A magnesium vitamin and crush it up and dissolve it into whatever I'm making to add that magnesium to the product, right? As a quick method to think that maybe I'm adding it into the product because it will dissolve into the product, which is an idea like I'm going to do with the vitamin E capsules, right? As a matter of fact, you could probably even melt those capsules. You wouldn't even have to poke a hole in them and squeeze out the vitamin E. If you put those little vitamin E gel capsules in the coconut oil that you're heating up with your spices and herbs and whatever you're using, eventually they're just going to dissolve, right? Or you can put them in something and it's warm it up separate, right? And keep it, and then where it completely dissolves, stir it in, and then you can stir it right back into whatever you're making so that you're not losing anything in terms of that vitamin E, right? Okay. Well, you could do the same thing with the magnesium vitamin that you buy in a vitamin bottle, I suppose, and just crush it up and dissolve it into to add that extra magnesium into your health rub, okay? Or you can do it this way, which I'm thinking to do, being that I'm kind of, I don't know, trying not to go mad insane with my lack of losing my eyesight and my world. I don't want to say falling apart, but it's definitely going to be different if I can't see shit, right? And, okay, so I'm going to get this anyway because it definitely has magnesium, so it can do what I want. And after I infuse it into whatever I'm going to infuse it into, in terms of either coconut oil, it could be olive oil, it could be freaking whatever, sesame seed oil, it could be whatever you want, right? The fiber that's left over, because you're going to have some kind of fiber with whatever you're doing, you can always add it to food, because this is edible. This is all edible stuff. The only one I would be concerned about in terms of any high dosage when it comes to adding into food would be nutmeg, right? In terms of overdosing on nutmeg and, maybe bringing on nausea or, a massive headache or, you getting dizzy because of the nutmeg, how it affects the brain, right? Okay. All right. So now in terms of cocoa butter, coca, okay, which has more nutrients than coca, right? This is more unrefined, right? More natural, right? Where you're going to get that concentration of magnesium in higher quantities. So for 1 pound, we're looking at $40. For 5 pounds, we're looking at $180. Now I probably have maybe 1 pound or more, or just 1 or 2 pounds of this in my room in a bucket that's been sitting there for a couple of years. So I'd like to have a comparison in terms of the new versus the old to see how well the cocoa butter stayed, in storage, uninterrupted in its original package, which I think is in a Mylar bag, in a bucket, right? With very limited heat fluctuation outside of those 2 months and a bit in the summertime when the house cooks, because my house cooks, okay, upstairs. But my room is the coldest room in the house, so even in the summertime it's not as hot as everywhere else, but I still run a little fan in there to try and just take the edge off the heat. Okay. And of course the bucket is on the floor, right? The closer to the floor, the colder things are, right? Okay, so I kind of want to use that as a comparison when I'm starting to do this, because I'm thinking, well, considering my son's situation, so we're already at $148 and I only need $150 to get free delivery. So I'm going to order one more thing. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to order, but I'm going to order one more thing. But, you know, when I'm thinking about making these rubs, right, I'm thinking, well, I got to be careful what I give my son, because, you know, if it starts bothering him and it's gumping up because of the hair, you know, the oil is not absorbing into his body as much as it should be, versus accumulating on the hair and on the hair follicles. Right? You know, what's the better product for him? Cocoa butter? Coca? Caca? Caco butter? Caco. It's cat, not co. It's cat. Caco butter or shea butter. Right? You can't use coconut butter because that's too gritty. Right? You'd have to do something to break it down. I don't know what you would possibly do. I mean, you could experiment with it. I can go downstairs and grab a jar of coconut butter. Honestly, I could. Because it's been, you know, right? Been down there for a while. And I could cook it up and blend it up and, what is that called? Emulsify. And you puree it. And to see how fine I can get it. Because maybe that might be better than using coconut oil, because, you know, right? So I guess I'm going to be experimenting with these, not so much on my skin, because I got baby soft skin. After all these, like, you'd think you were touching a baby, right? But I could do little, you know, test on Andre's skin, test on Amari's skin, and I suppose I could ask my son if I could test it on him to see which one his body adapts to and is more readily to want to absorb the rub and its components, which, if you infuse coca powder into your carrier oils or butters, I suppose, and your body's absorbing that into your body, well, then you're just introducing a natural form of magnesium, which is for, you know, bone health and all that crap. Okay? And of course I have to order jars. I have jars, but I don't know. I just want to have a selection of jars, and because I want to use some 4-ounce jars to rearrange my spice cupboard. Like, I would prefer to have, I'll use this for example, I would prefer to have my powdered cloves in a 4-ounce amber jar in my cupboard that I open and close regularly, because now I'm making spice cake every week, 2 or 3 times a week, right? And you know, once I start making spice cake and they get a taste of it downstairs, they're probably going to want some. So, Andre, make 2 spice cake, take 1 down, right? You know, so you're opening and closing your jar a lot, and that's when you bring in the oxidization to your product. So the smaller the jar, but not too small, you know, it just cuts back on wastage in terms of hastening the oxidization process, compared to putting all that into the powder that I bought for the clove powder and the paprika and yada yada. Instead of, I mean, yes, I will put them into a 1 liter amber sized jar, lid it, probably vacuum seal it, have it off to the side, but have my little 4-ounce jars where I'm using regularly, right? Right? As well as whatever I'm using for this stuff will go into its own bucket because I'll be, clearing out whatever's going on in my spice area and, just whatever, right? So I'm going to have like 3 different, you have the stuff that you're waiting to use when you run out, what's in your kitchen cupboard, and then of course whatever you're using if you decide to make health rubs for yourself, pain relief rubs, whatever. Okay, so that's what I'm thinking, because I just, I don't know. And I bought some flowers, seeds, because, you can, they're not only are marigolds and those kind of things, are edible, but they also have like mullum. I think I have 1 or 2 mullum plants in my yard that try to grow, if I can identify the plant properly, but it kind of grows against something, so it never really gets, and it doesn't get enough sunlight, because they like to be in a kind of a field, right? And they just bloom, and they bloom out big like a comfrey, and they get tall. Oh, they're beautiful, and they have different colors. Oh, they used to be out in the field before they ripped everything apart and built a freaking shadow building. And I'd dig them up a couple times or something, and I'd bring them home. But, over the years, things get moved around out there, and people pull this and people pull that, and people actually have stolen plants from my yard. So, whatever. So anyway, I bought some mullum seeds. I want to try and grow a couple of mullum plants, and just, just for the, to see, as well as maybe, if I'm able to see next year, which I'm hoping I will be, then, we'd harvest some of that, and then look up all the properties, and yada-yada-yada, and if I'm going into batch 2 now, because everybody liked what I've done, and they want more, and it makes sense to do it, then yeah, I'd be introducing other things as well. So, if I said to Andre, Andre, you gotta help Nana plant flowers next year. In memory of your mom, because your mom used to take care of that a lot for me. She'd be out there planting flowers and watering them all the time. You gotta water them all the time, you guys, right? But when they did the freaking bullshit in the yard in January, some of my sprinklers went missing, and like sprinklers are, and I had a really nice one, and I told my son, I said, don't you throw that out. But, Mrs. Gill in the city, get rid of everything, all the metal, this, that. Martin seen it was metal, and I think he threw it out because I can't freaking find it. I tried to hide it, and then it disappeared. It makes me mad. So I'm going to see if I can plant a, well, you know how people plant herbal gardens? I'm going to work on a herb garden, start working on a herb garden with flowers as well, right? Edible flowers and whatnot and whatnot. But, I'm like, okay, Judy, who are you kidding? As if you can go outside and spend 10 to 12 freaking hours a day, 5 to 7 days a week, even at 4 days a week in that yard. Like, who are you kidding? Who are you kidding? So, we'll see. So I got to pick one more thing, just because, right? I want to give it a fair shake, right? If I'm going to do this, I'm going to try different things, different combinations, just to see what the results are, right? And I want to make it where it's presentable in terms of, you don't want, right? So I bought different size jars for, in my mind, different things. And now I'm thinking about a May. What can I make for a May? Now, a May has that pigmentation on her skin where there's a name for it, right? And, you know, it's whiter than the rest of her face, and it can spread, right? And you gotta kind of stay out of the sun with it, and yada yada. So I'm thinking, you know, about that, and, you know, or other just like smaller, like, you know how you get, like I got a headache right now. I got a headache right now. This is very, 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 very old. This is a bomb. Right? I don't know. I can't see very well. I just know that this is old. Oh, and it smells like peppermint. It smells very good. Just smelling it maybe make my headache go away. So of course you want to make these things smell nice for aromatherapy as well, right? So it's minty. You can see. And this is like, oh God, 10, 15, 20 years old. Yeah. And you're supposed to put it right here. And around that area. Okay? Maybe it's 30 years old. It could be. Because I don't use creams and crap like that on my body. I'm an old mule. I wear farmer's clothes, for crying out loud. Well, I do now in this house, but you know, back in the day, you know, even then, you know, my body doesn't suffer from a lot of pain. Only like under my feet, and of course, when, you know, in my younger days when I had my kids on my hip, right, always carrying kids on your hip, you know, I'd get a little more back pain on the right side from that, but like I don't get like aches and pains, and you know, I get this, you know, you snap and snap, and I used to get it between my shoulder blades. So I'm like, you know, and I have little jars like this around, so I'm not buying this size, but I am definitely buying a 1 ounce. I don't think that's a 1 ounce. That's a half an ounce, right? I think I'm buying a 1 ounce, 2 ounce, and I do have, but I don't know if I have them in amber. I have them as hexane jars because I was thinking of something else in those days. Oh, I remember what it was. I bought all those little cans of pickled jalapenos and da-da-da-da, and I wanted to get them out of the cans and put them into jars. So I bought all these little jars like this with the hexane lids on them so I can repurpose and recan. Well, maybe one day I'll make my own jalapeno and can it in those jars. Okay? And that's another thing, you can use jalapenos, fresh jalapenos, I have, oh, I want to see if it's here. Let's see if I can find it. I think it might be here. It extracts oils from things. I've never used it. Never. I don't know where I bought it, but I've had it for years. Yeah, lucky me. It's right here. Right here. Let's see if we can pull it out and I'll show you. Now I'm thinking about extracting my own oils. Why not? If you can do it, why not? Oh my God, come on, baby, come on. Don't make it hard. This thing is heavy too. Very heavy. I don't want things to come crashing down. Oh my God. Okay. Look, I told you. Oh no, that's something else. Okay, get right here. Alright. I'm pretty sure this is what this is. Whatever you want, you put in there. It looks like it has different bits, too. Right? Okay? So, I would suspect the first time you use the bigger hole, like a meat grinder, and then the second time you use the smaller hole. So you're looking at 2 times anyway. You put whatever you want in there. Put that in there. Screw that on. Yeah. Come on. There we go. And then you just start grinding. Don't ask me for how long I've had that for. I've had that for years and years and years and years and years too. And I'm glad I'm glad I kept it. Oh yeah. So I'm thinking about Olea May, because she's very self-conscious about it. Right? She's embarrassed by it. She feels like she's ugly because she has it. And that's not healthy. So maybe if Nana makes her a beauty cream to give it a film of, I don't want to call it imaginary protection, but you put that on, right? I mean, she still has to follow the rules, whatever the rule. I don't think she's allowed to be in the sun for long periods of time, or whatever. I'll have to ask Tisha about it. But if you're gonna go as far as a pain rub using cayenne pepper, well, you might as well branch out and think about all the other little elements that are going on in your family. Do you see where I'm putting this? Back here, because I've got somewhat of a headache. Right? Oh yeah. This side here will snap, and it snaps all the way up into my skull, and maybe that's why this eye is so blind, because there's something just out of whack. But okay, so what they've used now, if I had to say what I would use as a carrier for something like this, honestly, Vaseline comes to mind. Yeah, because I know this thing is like ancient, but it smells wonderful. And it's not really oily. Like, okay, I just had it, right? If it has oil in it, it's not very much. Not really. I don't know how they made it. I suppose you could Google I can't see people. Balm. Essential balm. That's all it says, from what I can tell. Yeah. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. So I'll have to think about this one. Because Vaseline comes to mind. If you wanted to make something, what I'm just showing you now. Right? That will last forever. Right? So, now, the thing about what I'm suggesting here is, in regards to just from because I quick read. I do a lot of, I'm, right? I can't imagine what it's going to be like when I go blind, and I won't be able to. It's like I used to be able to write really small, and and now I'm having to write everything big and dark black letters, and and I struggle to see the things that I wrote in the past if I come across, and I have a lot of. It's very hard for me to see it, and and I can't see reds, and I really can't see blues, and definitely pencil is hard to see. Just whatever, right? But just from what I've been gathering along the way here, cocoa butter, cacao, there's a difference, cacao butter, okay? And shea butter are not prone to molding, okay? Because they're a fat, right? However, if you introduce bacteria and other contaminants into the butter, regardless of whatever one it is, it has the potential to start growing mold on it. So if you introduce water into the, you know, when you put your hand in the container, let's just say you just, washed yourself and, you know, you dried your hands, but you still had a little bit of water on your hands, and then you went to go like this, to go like that, that potentially could create mold over a period of time, if not used, I would say, regularly, okay? So, and I'm like, okay, so if that's the case, and I'm using organic fibers, whether it's coca powder, nutmeg, allspice, cloves, ginger, turmeric, yada yada, dandelion roots, comfrey roots, whatever, marigold flowers that were oiled, extract out, right? In terms of, I grow my marigolds, I throw in a bunch of flowers in there and I do, eventually I'm going to have this liquid, which I suppose is the oils of the plant, that I can take and infuse into whatever it is that I'm making. So in a situation like that, I think if you can balance the incorporate, like if you can balance incorporating your oils, your fats, in terms of coconut butter, vegetable glycerin, if you wanted to use that, or whatever other oil, quote unquote oil, as well as your butters, whether shea butter, cocoa butter, right? And maybe even quite possibly freaking coconut butter, if you can refine it into a very smooth consistency. I'm gonna experiment with that one. And like you could even bring it, like, you know, heat it up, and then just kind of like cook it for a while, maybe not boil it, but if on a very, like, just low for a few hours, like, in a, you know, right? And then after it cools, just take it into a blender and pure the heck out of it. And then put it in the fridge after, you know, and let it solidify and see what you get. There's an idea. I might try that. It's still butter. It's just not so gritty. You had to work with it first to soften it and smooth it up. And I mean, you're gonna strain whatever you're gonna use to infuse into your oils or whatever. So if you use 2 tablespoons of comfrey root to 1 tablespoon of turmeric to another tablespoon of, I don't know, allspice, and you cook that up, infuse it on low over and over and over again, and then you strain everything, right? A lot of the nutrient and minerals and vitamins and whatever are going to be in that solution. And then, of course, then you introduce your beeswax, or maybe Vaseline. Matter of fact, I got some Vaseline down the hall. I think I know where it is. Let me go get it. Let me rub it on my body and let me see what it does. Hold on a minute. Alrighty, so does petroleum jelly go bad? That's what Vaseline is made out of. Petroleum is oil-based, like from the earth, right? Of course, I can't see very well here. It's an earth-driven what, oil? I don't know. I'd have to read it up on it. Okay, so this is a white petroleum ointment. Oh my God. I used to be able to read this stuff. Oh my Lord. Keeping skin amazing. So maybe we're looking at some Vaseline here, depending on what you're making. And honestly, if you were like really struggling with finances and you still wanted to do something like this might be a good alternative to something. That's something we just don't know yet. Okay, so I'm going to take some of this. So if I had to compare the feel of this to the feel of this, which is, I'm going to put it at over 30 years old. Over 30 years old. Okay? And I'm going to feel this one. This one is a little thicker. Not so much thicker, but then I don't have a lot, so I'm going to put more. Okay, there we go. It almost feels the same. Honest to God. It's melting. I can feel it melting. It spreads out the same. Obviously, it's got essential oils in it. This one has no smell. But they feel the same. So, I would say this is petroleum base. And it never goes bad. Okay? If you learn anything from me as you go through my videos, for the ones that are interested in taking the time to listen to my, mantra, you start to be able to log what can last forever. Basically, yeah. Okay? And in terms of color, all it would take would be one drop of food coloring, because now I'm thinking, well, oh, I ordered these jars. Well, I haven't pushed pay yet, right? This is my last big spending spree. Okay, do you see? Look at the color. What do you think? I don't see very well, but I'm assuming this one's just a little more yellow than that one, only because it's made to make you think that there's something special in there, so you'll buy it. When maybe all it is, it could be honestly, just Vaseline with a few drops of food coloring in there to give it a little bit of color, and a whole bunch of drops of peppermint essential oil, and maybe something else. What the ratio is on that, I don't know. But and maybe one extra secret ingredient in there. Yeah. So I need to be thinking about how I can incorporate this into some of these things that I might want to work with, right? Like this might be better for a Leia May. It depends. I don't know. And just putting that little bit of this on, honestly, probably to do with the aromatherapy around it and whatever, it has kind of, I wouldn't say took my, beginning of a headache, how when it just first starts and you kind of want to nip it in the bud before it goes into full bloom, and you got to take a freaking couple Tylenol. I'm not at the Tylenol part, but at the rate I'm going, it just might go in that direction. So maybe this might just offset the headache that's coming. Otherwise, I'm going to have to take some Tylenol today, because I get them every now and then. I don't get them a lot, but I get them every now and then. So, that's interesting. If I wouldn't have done this video, I don't think I would have ever thought about what I just said. Right? So, in order, back to the mold thing, right? Mold tends to grow on fibers. When it comes to like it likes air. Mold likes air, right? And porous things, so it can travel through whatever it's growing on. Okay? So if you give it fiber where you get little pockets of air so it can start to travel, that's how it can grow, right? So, you know, I don't think doing what I'm doing is going to be problematic long term to the product itself, as long as the person who's using it isn't introducing bacteria, unnecessary bacteria, whether through water, because water is always a pathogen to bring in bacteria and mold spores and whatever and whatever and whatever, right? So, because I'm like, okay, you're using food products, you know, you're using real nutmeg, you're using real this and real that, and yeah, you're straining it, and you'll run it through a cheesecloth, but, you know, one little speck might get through, and that might be the conductor for the mold to start to grow. But if it's just one speck, right, per million specks, then it's not going to be a problem, unless you come in with dirty hands and stick your hands in there and then, you know, leave a whole bunch of gunk and junk behind. Then, yeah, maybe it might start to grow mold. And then you would treat it like jam. You know, homemade jam out in the farms in the old days, right? You know, the kids, they'd go out to the, you know, to grandma's pantry and open up a jar of jam, and there'd be mold in it, right, on the surface. Hey, so they'd take like 2 inches, an inch down into the jar, scoop it out, throw it away, and then eat the jam that's underneath it, because there's nothing that can grow there. So, well, that's amazing. I got a couple more of those little things around, but this I know has been around forever, like forever, because I don't very seldom use them. I always push past the pain, whatever pain I'm suffering. I try not to think about it, and I work around whatever it is that basically bothers me, right? Okay, so I just wanted to keep up with this subject, right? And just, you know, work with it for over the winter as I'm doing other things. Yeah. Okay, so I just did a quick little Google here on herbs, right, that can help with sun. Now, obviously, it said that, you know, you should still use a sunscreen with, you know, blah, 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 protective clothing, stay in the shade when it's really hot, blah, 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 blah. But for what they offered here in terms of, you know, a healing rub for skin that's maybe sensitive to sun or has been damaged by sun, or you want to protect it from being more damaged by sun. Like me, when I'm working outside out there, I don't do nothing. No, I don't got time. I don't like slathering myself with sunscreen and I just don't. So anyway, and when I don't get out in the sun, I end up looking like a ghost. Like if you look at my legs, they look like they ghost legs, right? They glow white. Okay, so the herbs or the spice or whatever they're suggesting here, they call them Ayurvedic herbs as natural sunscreen. For protecting the skin from harmful UV rays. Okay, so I'm just going to read it. Aloe vera obviously is a very, actually I've been neglecting my aloe vera plants. And they outgrown their pots and they need to be freaking retransplanted. So I need to get up on them, and because some of this stuff I can probably add into whatever it is that I'm doing, right? And then, so aloe vera, and then there's turmeric, right? So you can incorporate turmeric into something that is sun related to one degree or another. Sandalwood, not sure what that is. Let's Google that on Amazon and see what we get with that. Sandalwood. What is sandalwood? I don't know. Sounds like a root or something. Huh? What do you think? Sandalwood. It comes in as an extract. It's an extract. Organic sandalwood essential oil. Okay. It's coming in as an essential oil. There's a stick. Incense stick. No, we don't want that. It's an essential oil. Indian sandalwood incense. Okay. So they're selling them as incense and an essential oil. So I'd have to Google it on Google to find out exactly what it is. Amber plus sandalwood. Hydrating body wash. Alright, so where were we? Oh God, good luck finding what I was reading. Okay, yeah, so sandalwood, which is basically an essential oil at this point. Neem. Neem is prized for its antibacterial, antifungal, and anti-inflammatory properties. Neem is regarded as a potent deoxifier, making it advantageous for preserving skin health. Neem offers protection. I probably have a bottle of neem oil around here because I remember buying it and I remember what it looks like, but I don't know where it is. No, because I bought this stuff a long time ago because, like I said, I was going to do this, but I got sidetracked, right? And then I don't know what happened to that bottle. I don't know if I threw it out, because sometimes these bottles, over a year, 2 or 3, the bottles themselves start to, because they're plastic, right? They start to deteriorate and things are leaking out. So maybe I chucked it out, or maybe I just, because it's kind of like in a rectangle, thin, type of bottle that's, I know it's plastic, and there's only one place that I can think where it might be. Maybe one. And how long it's good for, I don't know. Is regarded as a potent deoxifier, making it advantageous for preserving skin health. Neem offers protection from UV rays and environmental toxins, averting sunburn and other skin conditions. So that would be good for a lame. Yeah. or even me with my age going outside. Just have to put a little layer on me and I'm good to go. Neem balm, neem balances that by hydrating and soothing dry skin with its bitter cooling properties. For pitta dosha, it lessens inflammation and removes heat and toxins that lead to skin issues like acne. Oh, there you go. You could do an acne cream. When used correctly, neem aids in detoxifying and handles skin issues connected to excessive oil and congestion, leading to balance kapha dosha. Andre's just coming into his teenage years, right? Neem is a versatile herb when it comes to skincare. I often recommend this herb in my clinical practice to my patients, depending on their skin type and needs. For patients with dry skin, I recommend applying neem oil. It provides hydration and sun protection. On the other hand, applying neem leaf paste as a weekly mask soothes and protects the skin, making a good option for skin health. Oh, I don't wear masks or not. I never put cream on my face, none of that crap. I got soft skin. Don't got time. Indian madder. Indian madder, also known as something, is used extensively in cosmetics because of its therapeutic and blood purifying qualities. It is known for its ability to stimulate vibrant and healthy skin, offering natural UV protection and healing sun-damaged skin. Its anti-inflammatory qualities can help in relieving sore and sunburned skin. That would be good for Andre when he goes out in the sun and gets sunburned. So there's an idea. Hold on a minute.